starts to intensify normal weather patterns, we will become increasingly reliant on predicting destructive weather accurately and in time. Before the devastating April floods, the South African Weather Service issued alerts that heavy rains were expected. So, of course, the service is absolutely crucial. And yet in the Business Day newspaper yesterday and today, CEO of the Weather Service confirming that money is tight and a number of their automatic weather stations have actually been vandalised. I'm joined now by Mnikele Ndabambi, General Manager for Operations at the South African Weather Service. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, did your vandalised weather stations and money constraints impact in any way your ability to correctly predict just how severe the floods in KwaZulu-Natal last month were going to be?
Good afternoon to you and to the viewers. I can confirm that the stations that we lost due to vandalization, which is about 6 automatic weather stations and about 2 automatic rainfall stations, did not impact our ability to issue warnings. Actually, the warnings, which now we use the impact-based warning system, were issued. And also the anticipation of some of the infrastructural damage were also communicated, working with disaster management authorities. So to say there were weather stations that led to us not being able to issue warnings, it's not true. Yes, we need to plan moving forward. Because due to the COVID-19 impact, the challenges in terms of financial constraints are there. But then we are planning moving forward so that we don't find ourselves in a situation where our observation infrastructure has deteriorated such that it can impact. Right. But currently, it does not impact at all.
All right. So I just want to go back to the time of the floods. We know that on the 9th and 10th of April, there were some warnings from the South African Weather Service. And we're actually going to play these. These were issued on Twitter, which, of course, is one of your ways of communicating. But you only put warnings at level 2. And then there was an orange level 8 warning issued on the 11th of April. So that level 2 warning on our screens now, that was issued on sort of the 9th and 10th of April. That was a day or so before. Those look fairly moderate. They don't look like worrying warnings. So my question to you is, bearing in mind that this is a day or two before those devastating floods hit, surely you underreacted. I mean, that orange level 8 warning that we're seeing, that came on the 11th of April. If I'm not mistaken, that was the day of the floods. Didn't you underreact?
I would like you to understand the new warning system, which actually was shared as highly successful during the tropical cyclone Eloise, I think about 2 years ago. So now for the first time, we don't say we expect heavy rain, we expect 100 millimeters in 24 hours. We are actually working with disaster management authorities so that we can understand the vulnerability levels at local level. For example, 100 millimeter in 24 hours in another district could not be a problem in another district. Maybe another district can experience a problem with only 50 millimeters in 24 hours. So then now we need, maybe what you want to say, instead of saying we have reacted late, is the level of understanding the vulnerability levels, the levels of understanding the soil texture, the soil structure, you know, for example, whether the conditions of that soil can easily lead to mud sliding. But bringing the amount of rainfall to the warning, to the impact-based warning, so that was done, and that was a good decline.
The reason I'm asking whether you underreacted or underassessed how bad this was going to be is that you've got a scale of 1 to 10, and the highest level warning you issued was an orange 8. I'm wondering why you didn't issue a red 10, because this is the worst natural disaster we have seen in decades. Did you not anticipate it was going to get this bad?
Level 8 was actually a very good level to anticipate the impact Remember now, as the South African Weather Service, our systems, they predict the rain from the atmosphere, they bring it to the ground. And then when it arrives on the ground, then we collaborate. That's why impact-based warning is not.
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to ask you, because I know this is complicated to understand. I need you to explain to me very simply, when it says very clearly on your graph, and we'll put those pictures up again, that the levels go up to 10. Why did you not issue a 10? Why did you issue an 8? Orange 8 at the highest level, which was actually on the day of the floods? Why didn't you put it at a red 10? Just very simply, in layman's terms, explain that to me.
Yeah, it's because the vulnerability levels that were understood during the time of the warning, which is a collaborative effort, we could only go to a level.
I'm asking you if you really think that's sufficient as an early warning, because surely you should have been putting out a red level 10 alert every 20 minutes. We lost over 400 people in these floods. Did you know it was going to be this devastating, or did you not know?
We didn't know that it will be this devastating to the level it went to. Yeah, that I can agree on. But I think it's important also not to mislead people, so that we understand the interpretation of the warnings. When we anticipate the impact, we need to understand the vulnerability levels of each district. Is one of the lessons that now got exposed to understand what are the vulnerability levels. So that is very, very important local content for impact-based warning.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. Mnikele Ndabambi, General Manager for Operations in Meteorology at the South African Weather Service, saying that there are financial constraints. They have had some weather towers vandalised, but he says they do have a plan to make sure that that doesn't impact their ability to predict